Hello everyone. Good evening. We'll be beginning the session in a few minutes. Till then, let's talk. Okay, till other people join. Okay, so how many of you here already know about Git and GitHub? You may comment down the answer in. Okay, I want the response. Come on, guys. Yes, yes. Go on, go on. Yes. Okay, so guys, tell me how many of you know about Git and GitHub? Was our last session informative for you? Okay, okay, I see. Yes, yes. Okay, so let me tell you guys, if you don't know much about Git and GitHub, no need to worry. We are here to give you hands-on experience and clear all your doubts. This is really going to be an informative session for you. Okay, good going. Shall we wait more or shall I start? Let's wait for one more minute. Let's more people join. Okay, so I think we should start now. So, once again, hello everyone. As you all know, after the successful conduction of day one of Repertoire of Contribution Hacktoberfest 2021, we are here back once again with the day two of the same. So today we will be having hands-on session on Git and GitHub brought to you by GDSC CVRGU in collaboration with GDSC VSSUT Burla. Presented by DigitalOcean, AppWrite, Intel, and DeepSource. Next slide, please. So, coming today to the agenda of today's event, our speaker will begin with introduction to Git. What is Git? The Git commands, branches in Git, Git and GitHub workflow, the steps to contribute in Hacktoberfest, merging the pull request, and the most important, the resources to learn everything about Git. After all, you need to self study because self learning is your greatest asset. So, next slide, please. Yeah. Here comes the most important part. I'm profusely overjoyed to take the opportunity to introduce our guest speaker of the event. He is none other than Mr. Aman Irshad. He is well known for his work in the domain of web and Android development. He has an exceptional achievement of securing second position in Future Skills 2020 Championship Russia, representing Team India in the domain of machine learning and big data. He is currently working in Azigate FZE Dubai as a mobile app developer. He is the former GDSC CVRGU lead and the co founder of CGU Coding Club, guiding students in their journey of becoming a computer science engineer. Last year, he was the facilitator of 30 Days of Google Cloud, helping many students to begin their journey in cloud computing. Recently, he also won the bronze medal in the state level Odisha Skills in the web development. Not only that, He was among the top 25 winners in DevFest India for mobile application and development track. His achievements says a lot about his experience. It's a well-known proverb. Action speaks louder than words. With leaders like Aman Irshad, you will get to know the proverb seems to do justice when he will give you a kickstart to your journey in open source this Hacktoberfest 2021. Now, I request the guest speaker of the event, Mr. Aman Irshad, to take up the stage. The stage is all yours.
So, hello everyone. Thank you, Bushra, for giving me such a good introduction to everyone. So, hello everyone. So, this is Aman Irshad over here, currently working as a software developer at Ezigate FZE Dubai. So, today I will be taking your session on Git and GitHub. So, can we move to the next slide, please? So, let's start with the introduction to Git. So, Git is nothing but basically an open source distributed version control system. This term would look like a big word to everyone, but it has a very simple meaning, you can say. For example, we can break it into different small simpler words. The first word is open source. Does anyone here knows about open source? Can I know in the chat, like, do you know what exactly open source is? So I'm getting the replies now here. So yes. So can anyone like tell me like what exactly is open source? Like just a brisk about it or just a simple skimming through the definition or something? Okay, yeah. Whose source code is open to public? Very close. Anyone else? Anyone else who wants to tell about what exactly is open source? Bit confused about open source. Okay. Anyone can contribute for its development? Yes. Open for all. We can modify it anytime, anywhere. So, okay. So I'm telling you exactly what open source is. So it's basically denoted as a, you can say, denoted to a software whose original source code is made freely available to everyone. It can be redistributed or remodified according to needs by anyone, by any person in this whole world. That exactly is open source. So Git is an open source distributed version control system. So we will get learn more about what VCS is, what DVCS are. So moving on to the next slide. So what exactly is a VCS? So VCS can be easily broken into like a system or a software that track the changes that are made by the people in a project. So suppose that each of us are working on a major project or a minor project. You basically are a part of a team. There are four people who want to make the exact project and want to contribute to it. So the VCS comes into play like they can track the changes what is made by person A, what is the changes made by a person B, and then merge it all together. The team can run test or fix the bug or contribute new code with the confidence that anything happens wrong can be recovered at any time. Suppose you have a working code, and that's a dream for many developers out here. Like we have a working code and it does not have any bugs, so we can like go back to that exactly perfectly working code at any time. We can like get to know about the project history, when the changes were made, who made the changes, why were they needed, and everything are given in the VCS. So we should now come to distributed VCS systems. So next slide. So what is a DVCS? So basically it just distributed among different systems. Like you can say it gives access to every file branch iteration of the project on each user's end. Each of the users that are contributing to that project has a VCS on his system, and similarly it is distributed over variety of systems and maintain integrity of the code. What I mean by integrity of the code, like there is a single piece of code that is worked upon by each and every person. There are not many multiple different projects. So the developers can work on anywhere, any time zone, any place. They can collaborate asynchronously. So what would happen without a VCS? Like there might be redundant changes, like you are copying something to a system and another person is again copying that same thing into the system. You will have two different files modified by two different members, then that wouldn't make any sense. Like you all want to make a single project and you don't want multiple copies of that. So that's why Git is distributed VCS comes into play. So next slide. Hope everyone like get to know what exactly a VCS and DVCS is. So shall I move forward to Git? Can I know in the chat box like the previous part was clear to everyone? Okay. So now coming to what exactly is Git. Git is just an example of DVCS that we have taught, just learned about in the last slide. So it's just similar to an open source and a commercial uh, software for VCS. So it is basically it has become a popular standard in the software development process. So here I will introduce you about how you can use Git and GitHub. So what exactly is Git? That you know. What is a version control system? You know. It just allows you to record changes to files over time, and you can add specific versions to that file. So the latest statistics shows that it has been used as more than 70% of the developers. So that's why it has become a popular standard now. Like whenever you join a certain place, it the most probable chances are that they would be using Git as their version control system. It has significant benefits, like for individuals, like they can easily collaborate and just quickly get the whole code onto their system, maintain the teams and businesses. So yeah, the next slide please. Why should we use Git? That's the biggest question now. So Git, like as I have told you in the VCS, like we can get to know the exact the timeline, what the changes, what were the decisions, and how the project have progressed into different zones and different versions. Developers can work in any time zone, and you can easily create branches. What exactly is a branch? I will tell you later on in this session. We can create branches so that you can make changes to the code without actually crashing it on the production side. You have never seen like Google, whenever you type google.com, the website exactly shows the perfect the way it is. You never see a button like moving upwards or downwards or never in the perfect alignment. It is only possible because even the developers are working on that website, they are working on different branches. They are not making the changes directly in the production code. Businesses use Git to like break down their communication barriers, like they know how things are going to be merged into the main code and everything. It is even like makes it possible to align the experts across a business. Like there are two different businesses, they can collaborate each together on major bigger projects and easily align with each others. Can I move to the next slide? So now let's get started with Git. So how to get Git on your system, how to do everything. So there are first you have to download Git using this link. Can I request the host to please like copy this link onto the chat box, please? So first you have to download Git on your specific operating system. First, like if you have a Mac or you have a Windows system or you have a Linux system, so there are different versions for it. The link has been shared in the chat box. You can download Git over there. Along with that, the host, can you please copy the of downloading and installing Git in different operating systems? So actually, it is a guide so that if any people comes up with an issue like in installing Git or everything, so it can be referred to. Can you copy the link? The second one, the getting started installing Git. Okay, yeah. So the second link is also in the chat box now. You can look into it if you have any issues like while downloading or installing Git in your system, or you come up with any issues of it. So now we are all set. We have downloaded Git on our system. We know how to install it. Now we are all set to go. So there are different commands which defines the workflow of Git. There are different commands such as git version, git init, git add, git config user.name, the git clone, the git commit, status, log, pull, and diff. So these are the different commands which are used as an everyday command for many developers out here in the industry. So basically, the first command, git version, it tells you about the which version you are working on, like what is like you have known about there are different versions while using an software like version 1.1 or 1.2 or 1.3. Even your operating systems comes in versions like Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 8.1. So the git version command tells you about what the version that you are working on. The git init command is the first command that you want to make to a folder. Like if you want to make a version control system to it, if you want to add the version control system to it, you have to first initialize it, the directory. So the command is git init directory. So after init, it will make a .git folder in that directory, which will track all the records and changes made to that directory or the files contained in the directory. The second thing is git add. There is something called a staging area in Git. So as you move forward into Git, the staging area is something like you are about to like make changes or save that changes permanently. So you can think of staging area as that. Like whenever you type something in a word processor, like Microsoft Word or something, you basically write something on it, and then after that you click on save or save as. So basically git add command puts those changes into a staging area where you will be committing or making permanent changes to those files. The git configure user.name is basically used to set up GitHub into your Git VCS. Git clone can be used to copy someone else code onto your system or clone their repository. The commit method is to like when you are making a permanent change to it, so you have to use git commit dash m and the message along with it. There are special standards which many of us must follow when we are committing some messages. Like the message should be pretty much practical. That should tell like what were the changes that you have made. If you are adding any feature, then you should write like I am adding this feature rather than message 1 message 2 or something like that. Then git status, it tells you like which files have been edited and which files have been added to the staging area. The log and pull is I will tell you about pull in a while. So as of now I have tell you about enough of these git commands. The next speaker over here will be giving you a practical demonstration on how to do these things. So I will be helping out with the theoretical part. So next slide please. So how does GitHub comes in? We know about Git, we learned about what are VCS, what are DVCS. So now let's know how does the this GitHub word fits in. So basically GitHub is a service that allows you to host your Git repositories online and collaborate to work on each other. You can think of it as a cloud storage for your Git repositories. You can push your code into GitHub and other people can access it through the links and everything, and you can share your projects through there. You can use GitHub through their web portal as well as GitHub desktop or the Git shell. As a service, it is like currently used by 15 million developers and organizations, and it has also become a standard for like collaborating and open sourcing code. So next slide please. Now I was talking about branches, right? So branches is what like when you diverge from the main line of development. Basically, whenever you are like taking an example of a website, like I told about google.com, so you always see the website in perfect condition, but you don't know what things are happening around it. When you are developing a website, you make thousands of changes every time and you keep refreshing, but but you are still affecting the main line of development. Like when you get your code perfectly working and want to implement a new feature, you are going to do it in the same code that you are doing, and it might like crash or explode your code. So branching means you have to diverge from the main line of work. As you can see in the diagram, like this is the main branch, like going straight through, and you want to work on it. Like you want to add a new feature. Like suppose you want to add a new button to something else, or so, without affecting the main work. So you will create a branch over it. As you can see on the top of it, you are creating a branch, and you are doing your own work. Similarly, if someone else also wants to do some work, so they can also create their branch and do their own work without affecting the main branch. In this way, like your original website will always stay like perfect in condition in production, and even the changes, people would never get to know what are the different changes that are being worked in the backend. So next slide, please. So this is the Git workflow. This is the master, which is like the we were referring to the main branch or something. So it is the straight line that is going on through, and you want to develop a new feature. You create a new branch, you develop something, and you can move forward or create new features and again branch through it. And again, if you are done with that feature, you can merge that branch onto another. Like when you are done with it, suppose like we are added two new features after developing it and added it to version 1.0, you can again move forward. And then when you are like perfectly okay with it, like this is the code and it's not going to explode anywhere, there are no bugs, you can then merge it onto the main branch. Similarly, like if you are going on a master branch and you want to do just a small hotfix, like some typing mistakes or something, you can just make a branch, fix that hotfix, and then again merge it onto the main workflow. Hope this part is clear to everyone. So next slide, the GitHub workflow. So this is the thing that we are more concerned about as we are all trying to participate in the Hacktoberfest. So there must be a code, already present code in the GitHub with the label as Hacktoberfest. It must be having a master branch, and you want to like make some changes to it. You want to make changes to that project or want to add a new feature. So what you have to do is to clone that master branch onto your system and create a branch out of it. Once you create the branch, you make your changes and commit them. Once you are done with all the changes, you can create a pull request to the main branch. So what exactly is a pull request? So when you are trying to contribute to an open source software, you propose some changes to the owner of the repository. He looks into your code, like what are the changes you have made. He gives you feedback. Then, according to the feedback, you make some more changes. And after it, your pull request is merged into the main branch. And that's how you are going to contribute in Hacktoberfest 2021. So, this is exactly what a GitHub workflow is. Next slide, please. So what I was talking right now, like what happens when you make a pull request. So when you make a pull request, the maintainer or the owner of the repository will be able to see and compare the changes that you have made. What are the features or things that you have done to the code and proposed a pull request. if they find some problems or they find some merge conflicts or something like that, they'll provide you with the feedback to check whether your pull request has followed all the guidelines for contributing to the project. You can check contributing.md in each and every repository. Along with that, if it has passed the feedback phase, your pull request will be merged into the required branch by the maintainer of the project. And if anything goes back or anything goes wrong after merging it, your PR will be reverted using the revert button in GitHub. And that's how the code will be like perfectly working as before. Next slide, please. So, how to contribute in Hacktoberfest? So first, you have to find a repository that you want to make changes to. It has to contain the Hacktoberfest label in it. Find an issue in the repository. There will be a separate tab for issues. You can find an issue which you want to work on, like you think that this is the thing that I can contribute to, preferably with the label good first issue, so that it is just this good first issue is basically a separate level for beginners who want to contribute to the Hacktoberfest. For that repository, what do you mean by forking is copying that repository onto your GitHub account. After forking that repository, you have to clone that repository onto your local system and make the changes as required. Whatever features or changes or anything that you wanted to implement or whatever issue that you preferably wanted to work on, commit those changes and then make a pull request. You have to wait for your PR to get merged. It is not like when like you just sent a PR and it will be merged into the main production branch. So you have to wait, you have to get the feedback, like if they are okay with it, then they will merge your request with the label as Hacktoberfest accepted. And that's how, after all this process, your first PR will be counted on towards Hacktoberfest contribution. All those people like who want to contribute in Hacktoberfest, you have to make 4 valid pull requests to be able to complete this challenge. I've just told you about how to make the first pull request. You have to repeat this process for 4 different projects or 4 different issues. Then you will be completing the Hacktoberfest challenge. Next slide, please. A special note to everyone, like whenever you are searching for an issue, there will be a section called as assignees. This means like someone already has been like assigned or given this task to solve this issue. So in that case, try finding another issue, because it will be like a race against time. Like one of them is trying to solve or fix that issue and giving a pull request, and you will also be trying to do the same. It will be like similar to you can say like they will not consider your pull request or his pull request, whichever comes first. So it's better like you find an issue which does not have any assignees, or you can ask the maintainers or message them like, I want to make this pull request or something. Next slide, please. So thank you all for listening to like all the things about Git and GitHub. All the best for your future in open source. Like if you have any queries, like you can mention them in the chat box. I'll be taking each and every of your doubt.
Uh, Also, guys, there will now be a live demonstration. So, in a few seconds.
Like, is there any doubt regarding Git and GitHub or anything like pull request or anything? Okay, so guys, thank you for listening. I'm handing over the stage to Rajeshi. He will be walking you through to all the demonstration regarding how to make a clone to a repository and how to make a pull request and everything. So thank you guys. Have a nice evening to everyone.
Thank you, Aman Bhaiya, for beautifully explaining all these topics. I hope our viewers learned a lot from you. So now introducing myself. Hello everyone, I am Rajav Rakshit, Cybersecurity Lead at GDAC, VSSUT, Godda. So in the previous slides, we learned about what is Git. We learned about VCS. We learned about VCS. We learned about distributed VCS, some important Git commands which we will see right now. We learned about Git branching and also about GitHub and GitHub workflow. So as we learned about VCS, can anyone from our viewers tell the full form of VCS in the chat box? Let's see how many of you remember the full form of VCS.
Okay, is my voice audible now? Can anyone confirm from our viewers?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Okay, cool. So I see many people writing the full form of VCS. Okay, nice. So yeah, VCS is shorthand for version control system. Okay, so in the previous slide here, there were lots of steps in it. Find a repo, then find an issue, fork the repo, and so on, so forth. So this looks little bit confusing, right? But no, it isn't confusing. Trust me, it isn't confusing at all. And it would all steps would make more sense when I show you all practically this in a real repository. All these steps. So let's do this practically. So first, let's go to github.com. We are inside github.com. Now, so for this session, I am gonna demonstrate using this repo, CEM frontend. This repo is being maintained by GTAC VSSUT Boulder. This is a CEM project. CEM is shorthand for College Event Management. We talked about this in our previous session. So what was our step one? Step one is find the repository you want to make changes, and it should contain the Hacktoberfest level in it. So yeah, see, it has the level Hacktoberfest in it. So we are good. So our step one is done. We have found the repo. So let's see what's in it. Okay, so here is here are some details about this project and what tech stack they have used. So they are using React and Node. Okay, and then there is how we can contribute about how to do installation and setup. And okay. So our second step was finding an issue. Okay, so here is our issue tab. See my cursor. Okay, so in the issue tab, let's go to this issue tab. There are many issues. Okay, so what we saw here. So preferably with the level good first issue. Okay, so yeah, we have one issue here with good first issue, and also yeah, in a note point, as Amanvia said earlier, that make sure that there is no assignees already. Like see, in this issue, there is already one assignee here. As you can see, this issue is assigned to Chandrasekhar. This issue has been assigned to Mujahid. So make sure that whichever issue you are selecting, it doesn't have any assignees beforehand. Okay. So this issue doesn't have any assignees, so we're good to go. So what is this issue actually? Admin page navbar button issue. So what you have to do here? In the admin page, the left side button should be named profile instead of button one. Okay, so from this we get to know that there is a admin page in this website. So let's check the project. What is it? here is the link for the live website. So they said there is an admin page. Admin. Yeah. So as you can see, there is this button and we need to change the text to profile. Okay, so let's do this. Looks easy. So what we need to do? So getting back to the steps. First, you need to fork the repo. Our first two steps are done now. We have found an issue and we have found the repo. So now we need to fork the repository. So in this upper right corner, there is a fork button. We need to click in this button, fork, and see now we have moved into my account. So basically we forked this repository into my account. See? So this entire repository is copied into mine. Okay. So what was next? Now we need to clone the repo. So for cloning, here there is a code. Here you can see green button code. Here we have the clone link here. So we need to copy this clone link. We have copied, and now we need to clone this in our local machine. So for cloning, let's make a new folder here. I am making a new folder in my desktop, ActoFest, and in this folder I will be cloning the repo. Okay. So what you can do, right click in this folder, and okay, you need to have git installed beforehand. So that is a prerequisite. So you need to first install git, and then we are good to go. So I have already installed git in my system. So after installing git, you will see this option here, git bash here. So if I click git bash here, it will open a terminal inside this directory. Okay, Hacktoberfest. See, let me zoom in. As you can see, Hacktoberfest, the directory just I created. I used git bash here, git bash terminal. You can use anything. You can also use command prompt, anything, your wish. For this demonstration, I am using git bash. Okay. So now we are gonna use some of the commands which we learned before. So the first command which we'll use is git clone. Git clone is used to clone the repository. Okay. So git clone, and now you need to paste this. Oh, sorry. I need to copy the link. I've copied the link. Yeah. I need to paste it here. So see, it's cloning and it's done. Now there is a shell command, ls, which stands for list. So this command basically lists the contents of the current directory. So as you can see, a new directory has been created, CEM frontend. So what does the next step says in this installation page? Okay, so here it is. So we have cloned. Okay, we are done with this step. Now we need to change to this directory. We need to run this command. cd means change directory. Okay, so let's do this. cd CEM frontend. Okay, so now we are inside this directory. Okay, so what we need to do now? We need to install dependencies. So we need to run this command npm install. So as we saw that this website is using Node in the server side, so that's why this command npm. If you are familiar with Node, so you know why this is being used. npm basically stands for Node Package Manager. I won't go into much detail. So just let's run this command npm install. This will it will do. It will just install all the dependencies. Okay, so I'm running the command now, and it may take some time depending on your internet connection. So till that we need to wait for some time. Okay, while we are waiting, so we learned about pull request earlier. So can anyone from our viewers tell why we are calling it pull request? Why is it pull request and why not push request or something else? Can anyone from our viewers say that? Okay. Okay, you keep thinking about that, and if you come with any answer, push that in our chat box. And if you don't get any answer, no worries, I will be explaining that in the end of the session. Okay, so I have already installed all these dependencies earlier, so that's why it skipped all this. So we are done now. So what is the next step? So we need to start the development server. Okay, so we need to run this command. Okay, so npm run dev. Okay, so yeah, see our local server is running. So if we make any changes to our local code, whatever we have pulled, we can check that in our local server. So for that, first we need to make our changes. So let's move into our project. So what was the issue again? I forgot. Uh, let's see. Sorry. We need to. What was the issue here? Okay. So admin page navbar button issue. Okay. So let's move into this folder src. Src is source code. So as this is navbar, so this will be inside this component folder, and as you can see navbar, and since that was admin page, so this might be the we're looking for. Yeah, so yeah, we have this javascript code here, and we need to look inside this code for finding that. Yeah, so wait a second. Okay, I don't know why it is earlier, why it is already profile. So this should be like this beforehand. It will be like this beforehand. I don't know why it was. Maybe I was just checking earlier and I forgot to change back. Okay, so here we have found that button link. So we need to change this to profile. Okay, this is the navbar code, source code. So we need to change this to profile as we saw there. Here, this should be profile. So we need to change this. Okay. So now we are good to go. We need to save this. Now this is saved. Okay, so let's check in our local server that if our changes are done correctly. So we need to copy this link and paste it on our browser. Now this website is running in our local machine. That's why it is local server. I'm calling it local server. This is not in our main production. Okay, this is in my local machine. Whatever changes I'm doing. So yeah, see, this is profile. While in the main hosting site, this is still button one. So I need to push our changes. So as you can see, our changes have done. So we can now push our changes. Okay, so let's stop our localhost server. Okay. So now we are gonna use some of our commands which we learned before. First, we already used git clone. Now we are gonna use git status. Okay. So let's use this command. What git status does is it shows the current status of our tree, working tree. So let's save it. So let's run git status. See. Okay. So as you can see here, this, as you can see here, changes not staged for commit. As Aman Arshad Bhaiya said earlier, that there is a staging area, and after we stage these files, we can commit them. So as we have edited these files now, modified this navbar file, we haven't added this to the staging area. So first we need to add this to the staging area. After adding it to the staging area, then we can commit. as it was mentioned in the steps. Okay, so for adding we have a command called git add, and as you can remember from the command slide, git add, then we have to mention the directory. So I will use a dot here. Why I am using dot? Dot basically references your current directory. This is a terminology. So dot basically references to my current directory which I am working on. So this basically references to CEM frontend. As you can see here, CEM frontend, this directory. So I am adding this directory into a staging area. Okay, and I have added. Now if we run git status, see, this has turned into green and changes to be committed. So this is in the our staging area right now. Okay, so now we can commit our changes. So for committing, let's do git commit. This is the command for committing our changes. And now this -m basically means I am attaching a message, and this is very crucial, and make sure that this message correctly represents what you have worked on this project or whatever issue you are working on. So as I worked in this navbar issue, so I will write about I have fixed the navbar issue. For details, I can also write change the button on to profile. You can, I have just wrote this in hurry right now. You just whenever you are writing this message, make sure you are thinking before you write. Okay, so this is our command. So this is it. Now let's press enter, and yes, so I have committed the changes. Okay, and this was our commit message. So now if we run again git status, our branch is clean right now. Okay, so this means we are ready to push our changes. Okay, so for pushing our changes, we will use another command called git push. Okay, so git push will, what it will do, it will push all these changes into a fork repository. Okay, so the changes will be visible into my fork repository, which is here, this one. Here the changes will be visible. So let's do this git push, pressing enter, and it's done. Okay, so I have pushed the changes. Now let's go back here and see. Let's refresh the site once again, and our commit will show up. Yeah, see, here is our commit. The message which I wrote, it is showing here. Fix the navbar issue, change the button, blah blah blah, and 1 minute ago. So now our commit is ready, and we are in our final step. What was our final step? Make a pull request. This one. Okay. So for making pull request, we need to go to this section, pull request. Okay, and now we need to create a new, this green button, new pull request. Okay, and so this will compare our changes. As you can see, this was earlier button one, now it's profile. So okay, so let's create this pull request. You need to click in this green button. Okay, now we need to write a good title for it, because this title would be showing here in the pull request section. So make sure you are writing a descriptive title. Sorry, not descriptive title. You need to write a short title, and then you need to mention your description here in the comment. Short and crisp. Your title should be short and crisp. So I fixed the navbar issue, and what I did was I changed the button one text in admin panel to profile. Okay, so that's it. So once I click on this green button again, so our pull request will be created. So let's click here. Okay, so see, our pull request has been created, and there's a green tick, which means there is no merge conflicts in our branch. Okay, When you go back, yes, see, our pull request has been created here. Okay, so this was about creating pull request and about using git commands. And as I said earlier, it isn't confusing at all, as you saw. Now, one thing I'd like to mention that if you are hesitant to use the terminal, you can use this GitHub GUI also, this GitHub interface also. Once you have forked your repository, so instead of doing git clone, then whatever we did, what you can do is you can go into this, whatever, suppose I'm doing these changes. So I can do whatever changes I did in through the terminal, I can do through here also, through GitHub graphical user interface. Okay, so if I go here, okay, so see, this is the source code. Now here is a edit button, see the pencil symbol. We can edit this file here itself in the website itself, so we need not copy the entire, we need not do the cloning thing and all. We can do this here itself. So here it is. I have already changed it to profile, so I won't do that. But here you can edit, and once you have done your editing thing, what you can do here, you can write your commit message. Here you can come write your blah 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 whatever, and you can also add some description, and then you can commit your changes. Once you click this green button, your changes will be committed, and then the steps will be same. After that, you need to go and make a pull request, create a pull request, and same. So if you are hesitant to use terminal, then you can, there is an alternative, but terminal gives you more flexibility, so terminal is always preferred. So okay, so as I said earlier, I asked a question why it is pull request and not push request and whatever. So yeah, some people have answered because we are pulling it from other repos. Not exactly. This is called pull request because we are requesting the maintainer to pull from our side, pull from our local machine. That's why it is called pull request. Earlier we pulled from their central repository. We pulled from their repository using that git clone. Git clone basically pulls the contents, the repository. We can also use git pull later on. So we are pulling, and now for pushing, we need to request the maintainer to pull from our side. That's why it is called pull request. Okay. So here was the answer. So I guess that's it for me. So thanks for listening. And okay, so about questions. So if you have any queries, please keep them posting in our chat box, and our guest speaker Aman Bhaiya will be answering them. So I will be handing over to Aman Bhaiya now. Over to you, Aman Bhaiya.
So yeah, anyone want to like shoot their doubts in the chat section? They can send all their doubts. Do we have to make up? Yes, Sagar. So there are some issues that you have to like contribute to or fix that issue. So you have to make particular changes to a project, not a particular project, but there are a lot of projects on GitHub. Like you can search on GitHub. There are many open source projects that you can contribute to. Is next question.
There is a question. Is there any provision to submit our own project in CVRC repos?
You can if you want like to like you can want people to contribute to your like repository. You can give it like a label as Hacktoberfest, and people will look out to your repository and they can submit their pull request to it. Or if you want to like submit it to our you can say our account, you can contact with the DSC lead, and she will help it like putting your project into the repositories. Any other question? Hope that answers. Sumit, it was your question, right? Any more doubt regarding VCS or DVCS, Git, GitHub, or anything in the practical demonstration?
There is another question. Can we add a new file to someone's repository by following the similar steps?
Yes, Sumit, you can add new files to anyone's repository by following the similar steps. You have to then create a pull request and wait for it to be merged by the owner or the maintainer of the repository. You can add as many files, you can add any changes to the existing files. Anything you want, you just have to clone that onto your system, and then you can make the changes and propose those changes in a pull request. Hope that answers your question, Sumit. I guess there are no more any doubts, so I would like the host to take the stage is all yours.
Okay, so now I would like to request Abhipsa Swai, GDSC lead from VSSUT, to proceed over with the vote of thanks. Over to you, Abhipsa.
Yeah, thank you, Rajarshi, and hello, everyone. So that was all about Git and GitHub for open source contributions. And I guess the demonstration is definitely going to help you all for making your PRs acceptable for Hacktoberfest 2021. I, Abhipsha Swai, leading the Google Developer Student Clubs from VSSUT Burla, thank everyone present here today for being an amazing audience throughout. I thank our guest speaker, Mr. Aman Irshad, for his phenomenal presence and giving us insights about open source contribution. I would also like to thank Rajarshi Rakshit for a wonderful demonstration about using Git and GitHub. Also, another thing I would like to add up is that all those who are willing to contribute to our repository, the link is there on the GDSE VSSUT chapter page. So feel free to contribute for the Hacktoberfest 2021. I would like to extend gratitude to the entire GDSE team from VSSUT Burla and CVRGU for putting up the 2 days long event repertoire of contributions, making this collaboration a grand success. Thank you and all the best, everyone. And yes, don't forget to follow us on all our socials and chapter pages for further updates. This is Abhipsha Swai signing off. Thank you.